Am I the asshole for telling a client's boyfriend to leave? I'm a 27-F, and I work as a piercer in a parlor. Recently, this girl came into the shop with her boyfriend and told me that she wanted to get both of her nipples pierced. As I was helping her pick out the jewelry she wanted for her piercings, I noticed that the entire time her boyfriend was just sulking behind her. He kept asking her if she really had to get her nipples pierced and was overall just creating an extremely awkward vibe. When we went into the back so I could do the piercing, her boyfriend came along, which I don't mind as many people bring someone along with them. As I was preparing everything, her boyfriend asked me if there was any way I could pierce her nipples without having to see her boobs. I told him that obviously she doesn't have to just completely show me her boobs, but I still need to be able to see her nipples, or how else would I be able to pierce her? He then started speaking to her quietly, but I could still hear what he was saying. He was saying that he wasn't comfortable with someone who wasn't him seeing her in that way. I didn't understand why he was being so insecure, as this is just my job. I don't view what I'm doing as sexual, I'm just simply giving someone a piercing. And then he asked me in these exact words if I'm into girls, and I tried to make a lighthearted joke by asking him why that mattered, and he just responded by asking if I'm going to be turned on by seeing his girlfriend's boobs. His girlfriend kept telling him to shut up and just let me do the piercings so they can get it over with. I am straight and I'm engaged to a man, but why does that even matter? Even if I was into girls, that doesn't mean I'm going to just get turned on by piercing your girlfriend's nipples. I politely asked him if he would mind just standing outside while I done the piercings, because I didn't appreciate the questions he was asking me, as they were extremely inappropriate. He then started accusing me of wanting to be alone with his girlfriend. He also spotted the engagement ring on my finger and said he felt sorry for whoever had to marry me, knowing this is my job. I kept telling him to leave. He refused and started getting loud enough that he alerted several of my coworkers, who all came in to see what was happening. My coworkers were eventually able to get him to leave, and his girlfriend decided that she would leave with him. I told her that I still had no problem doing the piercings for her, but she said that she didn't want to make the situation any worse, and she apologized for the trouble and left. Afterwards, my manager told me that I should have just ignored what he was saying and just done the piercings. I just felt that him asking me if I was going to be turned on by piercing his girlfriend was extremely gross and inappropriate. Most of my coworkers agreed that I should have just ignored what he was saying and not have made a big deal out of it, but I'm honestly just so conflicted. Am I the asshole? Not the asshole. I am a healthcare worker and can tell you, looking at penises and vaginas all day, I become immune to seeing that aspect as sexual, except with hubby lol. At work, I'm working FFS. That guy was completely in the wrong, and it sounds like your coworkers are men and don't get why you feel, rightly, the way you do. Not the asshole. This guy is a screaming red flag. I'd ask your boss if his response would be different if it was a male piercer being treated like this. Her next pap and mammogram are going to be fun if she's still with him. You were perfectly fine to ask him to leave, especially when he started insulting your professionalism. Having originally agreed to having him in the room was a reasonable accommodation for his anxiety, but it did not grant him the right to be a jerk. I hope that the girl reflects back on this and seriously thinks about whether it's a relationship she wants to remain in. Not the asshole. Edit. Not the asshole. Or most of your coworkers male? Because this sounds like the kind of thing a man would brush off and then would have no understanding of where a woman is coming from. Not the asshole. And now I question your boss and coworkers. Every piercing, tattoo shop I've ever been in has a very no-nonsense attitude towards respect and safety for all employees and clients. This guy was creating a stressful, potentially unsafe situation. He was upset, inappropriate, and aggressive, loud, angry. What was to stop him from trying to stop you piercing her when the time came, or to do something else unsafe, while you're trying to safely pierce his girlfriend? What kind of shitty shop do you work at where your coworkers don't stand up for you with a belligerent friend of a client? The place I go to would have kicked that dude out so fast. Am I the asshole for telling my friend that it's unfair for me to be on standby just because she has kids? This happened a few weeks ago, but I'm still thinking about it. My 36F friend, 39F, has 2 kids, 2 and 6 with her husband. We've known in each for 10 years, and in all those years, not once has she showed up on time. Doesn't matter if it's a casual coffee date, a play, my birthday dinner, she's always late, and usually no less than 20 minutes. One time she even managed to be 45 minutes late to a dinner she invited me to because she just needed to grab a few things on the way. I have tried to talk to her about it many times in different ways and make her understand how I feel. I hate being late and don't appreciate others being late more than the customary 5-10 minutes either, especially if they don't give me a heads up, because it feels dismissive and like my time is not as important as theirs. She's always brushed it off, so I've just started to add about 20 minutes to any time we're supposed to meet. I don't like it, but it sort of works since we don't see each other as much as we used to. A few weeks ago we decided to go for a walk, just the two of us. She pushed the time about an hour because the youngest needed to be put down for a nap, which was fine. As always, I went out right around the time we were supposed to meet and actually ended up being a few minutes late myself because I took a wrong turn and got lost. When I showed up, she commented on it, I apologized and we got to talking. She started going on about how she couldn't set a time if we wanted to meet because it didn't always work out with the kids and lots of unpredictable stuff could happen. Her take was that it would be better if we could meet between, for example, 1 and 2 p.m. and she could just text me whenever she's ready. We don't live that far apart and usually meet somewhere in the middle, but it would still mean that I'd have to sit on standby for whenever she feels ready, and I am sure an hour would not be enough with her time management abilities, and couldn't really plan my day very efficiently. So I told her that I get how kids are unpredictable and I don't mind a bit of lateness because of that, but I also don't think it's fair to me to just sit and wait on her for however long just because she has children. Her husband is super involved and has had no issues with taking both kids for an evening, so I know it's doable and all my other friends are completely able to be on time despite having small children as well. She sort of got quietly annoyed and said, "Well, that's just how it is," which I guess is code for, "live with it," which is why I think I might be the asshole in her mind. But on the other hand, I don't think it's fair to me at all because it's not a question of her having responsibilities, but more an excuse to finally just not give a crap about other people's time and plans. So, am I the asshole? Edit. Thank you all for your input. As many of you said, the relationship has run its course and I think I will fade it out or just outright tell her I'm no longer interested after our last conversation. My time and peace of mind is more valuable than this and I think I just needed a kick in the butt by some internet strangers to take that final step. Not the asshole. Who is she leaving the kids with? She should be able to hand over the kids and walk out the door on time. I have been a few minutes late with my kids, but I have handed off upset kids to my partner and it's been fine. Not the asshole. Firstly, this sounds like this has been happening pre-kids. So the kid's excuse is bullshit. Secondly, she's just a selfish person. There are few, if any, good excuses to being habitually late. That being said, you've put up with this for 10 years, and to some extent people treat you how you let them treat you. From her pod, this is fine and normal because you've let it be that way forever. Be firm, set boundaries, and figure out if this is a deal breaker in your friendship. Stop waiting for her. When she's more than 15 minutes late, leave. She sort of got quietly annoyed and said, "Well, that's just how it is," which I guess is code for, live with it. Nah, you're tired of it, and finally speaking up. She's never respected your time. Now she's using her kids as an excuse for lack of preparation. You have a life, and a schedule. Not only are you suffering through the sitting and waiting, there is the build-up beforehand, knowing the same thing is going to happen again. Time to end the cycle. Not the asshole. Not the asshole, your time is important too. Young children do complicate adult plans though, especially if the person wasn't a good time manager before becoming a parent. Looks like you're stuck with, live with it, if you choose to spend time with her. Not the asshole. I've been in exactly this situation with a close friend. I have a busy life too. I cannot just wait around forever, often for her to cancel 20 minutes after we were supposed to meet up to begin with. I have told her to just bring the kids and let them nap in a stroller or pick something we can include them in to make it work. I have multiple friends with kids who have no issues arriving on time or incorporating the kids into their lives so they can still see their friends. At the end of the day, it's just a parenting style that I don't agree with, nor do I replicate, and it just means I don't see her much. Am I the asshole for not letting my brother's housekeeper stay with me while he's away? My brother has a housekeeper he really likes. He's going on a long trip and wants someone to take her in temporarily so she doesn't find a new job while he's gone. He asked me to hire her just for the time he's away, but I said no because I already have a housekeeper I'm happy with and don't want to let go. Now he's mad at me because, a while back, he took in my housekeeper when I was traveling. But back then, he didn't have one of his own, so it didn't affect him. He thinks I owe him for that, but I don't think it's fair to ask me that. So, Reddit, am I the asshole for saying no? Edit. Please understand, we are not forcing the housekeeper to do anything. This situation is similar to a company that values an employee's work but does not currently require their services, so it offers a temporary placement elsewhere until they are needed again. The employee is free to decline the offer and leave if they choose. What in the 1% hell is this? Have either of you thought to let the housekeeper make her own damn decision about keeping the job? This is a human being, not an appliance. If he wants to retain her services, he should pay her while he's gone. He basically wants her to be held hostage so she can't earn money while he's away. Not the asshole. Your brother should pay her for the time he's away. That'd encourage her to stay. Rich people suck. Not the asshole. If he wants to retain her, perhaps he should pay her while he's absent. Why don't he give her vacation pay? And tell her when he will be back. Then he should keep paying her. That is how jobs work. Am I the asshole for bribing my daughter to get in her car seat? My daughter 9 female has been throwing fits every time we gen in the car lately because she doesn't want to sit in her booster seat. She says it's for babies and she shouldn't have to sit in it because she's not a baby. We believe she probably got teased by a friend at her school saying booster seats were for babies, and that's where this started. And it doesn't help that her brother 12 male has noticed how she feels about her booster seat and has started making fun of her for it when she is annoying him sometimes. I 41 female am not currently working, so I'm the one taking the kids to school, and her tantrums have become very difficult to deal with and they make me dread going anywhere with her. So a few days ago I offered to buy her a toy she wanted if she would get in her seat and not throw a tantrum. She reluctantly agreed and this got her into her seat. The next day I offered her 2 cookies if she got into her seat and didn't throw a tantrum. This worked as well. Then it became something I did every day to get her into her seat, and now I do it every time we get in the car. Today my husband 42 male was out saying goodbye to us for the day before we left and noticed me bribing our daughter and asked what I was doing. I told him about how I've been bribing her to get her in her booster seat and how it's been working, and he was furious. He asked me how long I planned on bribing her with cookies and toys and if I planned on doing so until we had spent all our money on her tantrums. I told him it was the easiest way to get her into her seat, but he was still very upset. He's been upset with me ever since. You are the asshole. Congrats, you have taught your daughter throwing a fit pays off. Long term you've bought yourself more fits. Esh. Congratulations, you're being manipulated by a 9-year-old. It's a good thing she's in charge, because you don't seem to be up for it. You are the asshole. You are negotiating with your 9-year-old over a safety concern. This is absurd. There are plenty of circumstances where you can give your child choices. Car safety is not one of them. Buckle up, car seat, booster seat, or there will be consequences. End of discussion. You are the asshole. I also have a child the same age. Part of growing up is learning there's things you just have to do, whether you like it or not. Also tell your 12 male to shut up about tormenting his sister on something she has no control over. Your passivity is teaching your daughter that being obnoxiously upset pays off, and your son that it's okay to be an ass just because someone is annoying. Yeah, parental life means sometimes our kids pull crap we just don't have the emotional or mental energy for. It sucks, but we have to teach our kids what helps them most in the long run, not indulge them for our short-term comfort. Fix this or it will get worse. You are the asshole. You haven't addressed the issue, or your daughter's feelings, or your son's teasing. You're rewarding behavior you don't want to see from your daughter, and I can only imagine how your son is feeling seeing his sister getting treats every day, all because you've decided being lazy is more convenient to you than being a parent. You are the asshole. Oh boy, so now she knows if she throws a fit for anything, you'll just buy her something. Good luck breaking that habit now. She's going to start throwing a fit over every little thing and expect to be paid to act like a normal child. You are about to reap what you've sown.